Hello everyone. So today's lesson is about the fractions. Okay, what does mean fractions and what does mean the equivalent fraction and how to write the fraction in the simplest form. Okay, but let's study the fraction. What does mean the fraction? Fraction is any number is like a over b is written like a over b. Let's say a over b, right? A and b is any number. Let's say 1 over 2 is the fraction because it's written like a over b. And the fraction is consists of two parts. This one is numerator and denominator, right? So 1 over 2 is the fraction because it's written like a over b. Let's say 5 over 1000 and b, not b0. Okay, so 5 over 1000 is the fraction, but 1 over 0 is not the fraction. A and b is any number, b except 0. Okay, 1 and 1 over 0 is undefined. Okay, 5 over 1000 is the fraction. These are is called the fractions. Okay. Equivalent fraction. What does mean the equivalent fraction? The two fractions, they have the same value, they have the same amount. For example, these two fractions, 1 over 2 is equivalent fraction with the 5 over 10. These two fractions are equivalent fraction. They are equal, they have the same amount. How do we know? If we multiply 1 over 2 by multiplying by 5, numerator and the denominator, you will get this fraction. How can we get the equivalent fraction? By multiplying or dividing by the same number for numerator and the denominator. In this fraction, we multiplied by 5, numerator and the denominator, by the same number. So it's gonna be 5 over 10. If we multiply 1 over 2, if we multiply it by 6 and 6, we will get another equivalent fraction. It's gonna be 6 out of 12, right? So 1 over 2 is equivalent with 6 over 12. Multiply or divide, let's say 25 and 15. If we divide it by 3, this one, if we divide it by 3, divide by 3 and divided by 5 and divided by 5, you will get 5 over 3. 25 over 15 and 5 over 3 is the equivalent fraction. How can we get the equivalent fraction? By multiplying or divide by the same number. Okay, we cannot divide for numerator and by 5 and the denominator by another numbers. It will be the same number. Okay, this one is called equivalent fraction. Okay, so how can we solve the question? For example, let's say this one. Question 3 says complete. It means we have two equivalent fractions. Let's say two equivalent fractions. Question 3, page 82 is page 82. The question is 3 over 5 is equal to, there is a missing number, over 20. Okay, let's say 3 over 5 is equal to the missing number and 20. Okay, how can we find this missing number? How can we find the missing number? Look at these two one. 3 over 5 is the equivalent with this number, with this fraction, but there is the missing number. How can we find the missing number in the second fraction? Look at this one by comparing. How? There is a missing number in this side, on the right hand side, so that's why we're gonna look at this number 5. How it becomes 20? By divide or multiply? By multiplying, right? So multiply 5. How it becomes 20? By multiply or divide? Multiply. Multiply by what? 4. So we say that for the equivalent fraction, do it the same thing for numerator and the denominator. So that's why multiply by 4. 5 times 4 is 20. 3 times 4 is 12. So the missing number is 12, okay? Another example, let's say question 8. Question 8. 9 over 24. There is a missing number and 8. Okay? Again, look. 9 over 24 is the equivalent fraction with this fraction, but there is a missing number in numerator, I mean in this side. So we say that if we have the missing number in this side, we're going to look at this side, 9 over 24. Right? Compare this one, 24 and 8. 24, how 24 it becomes 8? By divide or multiply? By divide. Right? 24 divided by what number is 8? 3. And divided by 3. This do it the same thing. Okay, so 9 divided by 3 is 3. So the missing number is 3. Okay, so another one, let's say question 31. 31 is 9 over the missing number is equal 3 over 4. Okay, 3 over 4. So in this side we have the missing number, so that's why we're gonna look at the other side, which is 3 over 4, this fraction. So how 3 it becomes 9? We're gonna go this side to the missing number side. Okay, so 3, how it becomes 9? By divide or multiply. It's very clear, the big number, big to small, is divide, and small number to big number is what? Multiply, right? So this one is the small number to big number is multiply. 3 times what number is it gonna be? 9. 3 times 3 and 4 times 3. It's gonna be 12. The missing number is 12. Okay? Another example, let's say question 33. Question 33. 16 out of 28 is equal to 4 out of the missing number. Okay, so 16 out of 28, in this side there is a missing number, so that's why we're going to look at the other side. 16 out of 28. Look, there is a missing number in the the bottom numbers is the missing number, so that's why look at the other numbers. 16 and 4. 16, how it becomes 4? Divide or multiply is about the equivalent fraction. Is so to find the equivalent fraction, always we're gonna multiply or divide. It's not about the addition or subtraction. Okay, big number to small number, big number to small number is what? Divide. So divide. Divided by what? 16 divided by what number is 4? 4. And 28 divided by 4 is 7. This one is about how to find the missing number in the equivalent fraction. Okay? Okay. If we have the fractions, simplest form. If we have the fraction, how can we write this fraction in the simplest form? For example, question 15. The question says, write the fraction in the simplest form. What does mean simplest form? If we have the fraction, how can we make it easier, the fraction? By simplifying, okay? For example, 4 out of 32. To write the fraction in the simplest form, there is two ways. By using the common factor and divisibility rules. Let me write, this one is common factor. the second way is question 15 is 4 out of 32. There is two ways: divisibility rules. Okay, so let's say common factor. What does mean the factor? I mean, when you multiply the numbers, these numbers is called the factor. For example, what are the factors of 40, I mean 4, 32? What are the factors of 4? It means what number multiplied by what number, it's gonna be 4. 2 times 2, right? 2 times 2, right? Okay, what about 32? What number multiplied by what number is 32? We know 2 times 16, 2 times 16, and 4 times 8, right? But we need to find the common factor between these two ones. If we're gonna choose 2 times 16, there will be the common factor between these two lists. But if you're gonna choose 4 times 8, there will be no common factor. So that's why we're gonna choose 2 times 16. Look at this one. There is a missing number, which is 2. Is not the missing number. There is a common number, the common factor, which is 2. Remove it. Only 2 over 16 is left. Okay. Still, we can simplify more. How? By 2 times 1 and 2 times 8, right? 2 times 2 is the same. Remove, only 1 over 8 is left. Look, how do you know 1 over 8 is written in, we cannot simplify more, I mean is written in the simplest form? So whenever you see 1 in the fraction, so that means that fraction is written in the simplest form. This is the first note. This is the first one. The second one, if the bottom numbers and the top numbers is the prime number, what are the prime number? Let's say 2 over 3 is the prime number. 2 is the prime, 3 is the prime. Let's say 5 over 7 is, these two numbers are the prime. We can, whenever you get this fraction, it means that fraction is the written in the simplest form. We cannot simplify more. Okay? So 1 over 8. How do you know 1 over 8 is written in the simplest form? Because there is 1. Whenever you see 1 in the fraction, that means it's written in the simplest form. Okay? So this second way is called the divisibility rule. We studied the divisibility rule for 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 9, and 10. Okay, what was the divisibility for 2? If the last digit is even. 4 is already even, we can divide it by 2, right? 32, the last digit is even, we can divide it by 2. It's gonna be 2 over 16. Okay, 2 over 16. Can you simplify more? Again, start from 2, the divisibility for 2. Okay, 2 is even, we can divide it, and 16, the last digit is even, 6, so we can divide it by 2. It's gonna be 1 out of 8. Right, that's it. Another example, let's say another one, which is the second one. 48, 54. 48, question 18. 48, 54. This one is our fraction. How to write this one in the simplest form? Okay, there is two ways: common factor and the divisibility one. If you know the multiplication table, it's very easy to use this way. Okay, it's very easy. Let's say 48. What number multiplied by what number is 48? 6 times 8, right? Is 48. What about 54? 6 times 9 is 54, right? So 6 and 6 is the same. 8 over 9 is left. 8 over 9. Can we simplify more? Let's check. 2 times 4 is 8, and 3 times 3 is 9, right? And there is another numbers, which is 1 times 9 and 1 times 8. Look at these two one. 3 and 2 times 4 and 3 times 3. There is no common factor between these two one. If the common factor between the numbers, the common factors between these two numbers, 1 times 8 and 1 times 9, is 1, so that means this number, this fraction, we cannot simplify more. Again, 8 over 9 is the fraction. How do you know this fraction we can simplify more or not? Let's write the fact that 2 times 4 is 8 and 3 times 3 is 9. As we can see, between these two list of the numbers, with these two factors, there is no the common number. There is no the same number, right? So only 1 times 9 and 1 times 8, between these two factors, 1 is the common factor. Whenever the 1, it will be the common factor, that means this number is written in the simplest form. So 8 over 9, we cannot simplify more. Stop it. This is the end. Okay? Another one, question 22, let's say, or 21. Question 21. 9 over 30. Okay? So 9 over 30, let's say. 3 times 3 is 9, right? But for 30, we can say 3 times 10, right? There is another factor which is 6 times 5. But if you're going to choose 6 times 5 and 3 times 3, there will be no common numbers. There will be no the same number. So that's why instead of 6 times 5, we're going to say 3 times 10, it's going to be 30. 3 and 3 is the same, only 3 over 10 is left. Look at this one. 1 times 3 is 3 and 2 times 5 is 5. There is no the same number, so that's why 3 over 10 is written in the simplest form. We cannot simplify more. Okay? So question 18, let's say 48 divided by 54. Let's solve this one by using the divisibility rules. 48, question 18, 48 and 54. Okay. The divisibility rules for number 2, the last digit is even, so that's why we can divide it by 2. This one, is it even? Yes, it's even, the last digit. So that's why 48 divided by 2, it's gonna be 24, right? This one, it's gonna be 27. Divided by 2, you'll get 27. Look, 24 and 27. Check for, is it divisible by 2, 24? Yes, the last digit is even. But look at the second one, 27. 7 is not the even number, so that's why we cannot divide it by 2. So check for 3. What was the divisibility for 3? Plus 2 plus 4 is 6. 6, can we divide by 3? Yes. 2 plus 4 is 6. Can we divide by 3? Yes. This one, 2 plus 7 is 9. Can we divide by 3? Yes. Okay, so we can divide it by 3. Divided by 3. 24 divided by 3. It's gonna be 8. 27 divided by 3 is 9. Look, check more. 8 is even, 9 is not even, so we cannot divide it by 2. For 3, we cannot divide it by 3, 8, but 9 we can. So that's why we cannot, it is not divisible by 3, these two one. Okay, we cannot divide both numbers by we cannot divide it by 2. 5, the last digit is not 0 or 5. 6, we say that if it is divisible by 2 and 3, we can divide it by, it's divisible by 6 as well. 9 plus the digits, this one is already one digit. Can we divide by 9, 8? No. But 9, we can divide it, so that's why there is no the same number. There's no these two numbers is not divisible by 2, 3, 4. The only numbers is 1, So that's why 8 over 9 is written in the simplest form.